Once we get down to where these cones are here, we're going to start to funnel them down to the left. And between these two lampposts we drop off the circuit and we go into a tightening radius turn. Which is basically going to come around here, go around the top of the hurdles. We're not using these hurdles. Around the back, over here, and then we're going to do a dead turn over here and come to the left. And as we pass the tarmac here, will be the first pass of the pit lane. Probably here the ground's a bit squishy here, but it's pretty firm. Once we pass the pit lane here, we're going to go up to the banking and do a turn on the banking and then back around the tree. And after we come around this tree, we're going to go around the back of that tree over there and across the circuit. Once we come around here, we have to come to the right of this lamppost because the ground is all cracked. So we come out here onto the tarmac. I'll try not to get run over by the cyclist. And where we're crossing the tarmac, we're going to use steel barriers, so nobody's got any danger of running into each other. We'll actually be on the tarmac here. And then we're turning left into Bruce's corridor, which must have taken them many hours to create because this was single track. This is where the video gets a bit dull while we go through this bit. Again, the ground's pretty solid but sort of mushy on top, so it will be a bit slippery. And as we come out of here, we're not going to go onto the tarmac, we're going to turn right, but there's a grid here, so we need to go around the outside of this, and we've got enough room. And then we're down here. Some of this may look familiar from the September race, John. Now this is going to be nice and slippy, but we've got two ruts here, which is quite good. We've got one here, one over there. So it'll be interesting to see which one of those works out to be the fast line. And we come around this tree. And as we come around here, we're heading towards where we're going to cross the circuit. So I've actually cleared quite a big area. So the idea is they're going to sort of come down here, do a 90 right and then a 90 left. And then, well, probably sharper than that. And then out towards the gravel over here. The idea is we want to slow them down before we get to the gravel. And then where we cross it is actually pretty shallow, as I hope you can see on that. And then we're just going to cross the circuit straight across and onto this, which will be a nice slippy bit of off-camber stuff. And as you can see, I've cleared all this to the right, so we've got plenty of space to run down the grass. And again, this will be, I think everybody will probably stay high on this because it's going to be a little bit drier. But there's space for the brave ones or the foolish ones. And then we're coming down into the bottom field. And what we're going to do here is we're going to basically head out into the field over there and do a loop round and the other side of the course will come round it, we'll wrap round it, and then we're going to go in over here where I've cut through to head down to the steps. This bottom field and the one above it are really the two places where we've got some scope to tweak the course. If it works out that we need a longer lap or a shorter lap, we've got plenty of scope to do that. The plan is on Saturday, when we do the course build, a few of the guys are going to ride it and we're going to time them, and they're much faster guys than I am, so we'll see how long it takes them to get around and make a judgment call. Then we come around here onto the steps. And down into the big muddy puddles. And start climbing back up again. Based on last December when we had the London League here, it got very boggy down here, so this is where I think we're going to find a lot of people running, unfortunately, because we're still quite a long way from the tarmac here. Hopefully, with the extra width, people will be able to find a bit of grip on the longer grass as we head up towards the woods. And where we normally go to the woods, we've cleared around to the left here, a nice big wide corridor, and again hopefully it's wide enough that people will be able to find a bit of grip to get up here. I mean, it's a bit slippy even just walking in my wellies. As you can see, we've cleared quite a lot here, and I suspect probably this is about where people will get off, because this looks particularly slippy, this last little bit. But it's only very short, and then we drop them onto the tarmac here. It's a good clean edge. I don't think it's going to cause too many problems. They can always go up there, it's a bit shallower, and hopefully this will sort of allow people to kind of clean some of the mud off their tyres, so it's not such a huge disadvantage for the guys who don't have two bikes. Then we head off the tarmac again here. I think we're about to bump into a guy on his phone. A bit of long grass here, but hopefully it won't get too much in people's necks. We've got quite a lot of space here to move, or even possibly go onto the trail a bit there for a bit of extra traction. And then we head on to really what is the only bit of proper trail that we use. People here. So we just do a short run on here for just a couple of turns. I mean, it's wide enough for the brave and bumpy enough for the stupid. I'm sure there'll be some fun and games here, and then we turn right here and we're back onto the infield. Again, it's quite boggy here, as you can maybe be able to hear. And there's a nice little ditch here, which is nice and muddy. It's not, I don't think it's dangerous. I think it's just, it'll make a bit of a mess and it'll be good for the cameras. And then we come back onto the grass here, and then the plan is we're going to have some zigzags here, and then once we've done that, we're then going to sort of head over towards the tarmac again, and we're going to have the other pass of the pit lane. When it comes to the under 12s, I think they're going to sort of loop round, shortcut past the pit, and then down to the bottom of here, and then back up the grass the other side. It's unfortunate that unlike September, we can't really send them behind the building, because I think the route that we've got would just be, it wouldn't just be tears. The parents getting angry with us. It's probably a bit tough. Anyway, we're going to go down to the end of here, and then onto the tarmac, and then we're going to do a sort of zigzag up the hill around these lampposts. We're not, you know, we're going to probably go put the course about a metre away from the lamppost all the way around, so there's no danger of anybody running into them. Well, I mean, you can't account for everybody's stupidity, but it really shouldn't be a problem. And then when we come out, we're going to hit the tarmac at the top here, and this is where we then come to hit the main bit. The idea is this car park up here we want to fill with gazebos and try and sort of create a bit of a buzz. If we have more than we can fit in here, we've got space along the front. We can put them maybe even over the picnic tables, and you know, if there was even more than that, we could use the far end. And once we're here, we're going to put on the drop curb, we've just got a bit of sort of triangular wood just to take the bump out, and then as we hit this, we've got some boards to go in here. You can see where we've sort of dug out the groove, and we've got some blocks on the back of the board which will lock into that. And then we come up here, and the idea with this bit is we're going to leave a nice wide exit so that as it cuts up during the day, people can still find a line up it and people aren't going to get stuck. And then we come around the back of here, and we've got a nice tricky bit of off camber. I mean, if this gets too bad around here, then I guess ultimately we've got the option of moving it up onto the trail up there. But you know, this is a regional race. You know, it should be challenging, and I think this would be quite a good bit actually here. And as you can see, we've got the jet wash down the far corner. I have to remember on the day to go and find the hose for that, but I know where it is. And then we come back up to the top again. We do have another 3 metres of trail here. We just come over the top of this berm and down. You can see here where I've been painting the boards. We're just drying there with a non-slip paint. And then we come around on the edge of this berm. There's a grid here we've got to avoid. So it's a little bit bouncy, but there's enough room. And then we head around the back. Kids have already been practicing down here, so this is already nice and slippy for us. As you can see, I've been hard at work with the strimmer again down here, pulling all this out to 3 metres. Gives us a nice wide run down the hill. And again, this is probably a bit of the circuit where you'll start off with a very sort of straightforward line down it, but if it cuts up, then it'll just widen out. I don't think anybody's going to be using file threads, that's for sure. And then we're coming up to the bit where Stephen smashed his teeth on the track, which was nice. And what we've done here is we've got a left turn up the hill, and we've cleared a huge gap in the hedge here, so we've actually got enough scope to run it all the way to a dead turn up at the top, and sort of turn around on the top of here and then come back down again. And then we're going to put in a sort of force them to the left here, and then the right, just so we hit the board absolutely square on coming down here. And you can see again where we've dug out for the board here, and what we're going to do is sit the bottom edge of it behind the curb and then sit the top edge of it below the grass. It felt really solid when we tested it. And then we cross the circuit onto the field, and again this is somewhere we've got some scope to make changes if we need to lengthen or shorten the course. When we measured it before, it was about 2.2 kilometres, which in theory is on the short side, but with the hill and the mud I think that's probably going to be enough for people. There's a bit of dry grass down here, which is not going to make me anybody's friend, but hey, I'm not riding it. And then the base of the plan is we're going to have some the portable hurdles here, and then go down to the trees, loop around the trees, and then come back over here towards this gateway, and we're going to have a second set of hurdles before people cross the gravel, which will again slow them down. Nobody's going to hit this thing at great speed. The gravel here is actually very flat. You'll see. So there really isn't any jump on that. The other side is nothing. And then we go into the field here, which is obviously where we were before. And then the plan is to sort of go all the way over that way down to the left, and then sort of where the fence comes out, there's a sort of almost like a sort of tree roundabout behind it. We're going to go around that and then come back up, and then this is where the course loops around the other half of the course that we saw before they go to the steps, and then we're going to come out this entrance to the field again. I think it really will get very boggy down here. And then back up, and again just straight across the grass, across the track rather, here. Again a very flat gravel bed and a shallow curve, so I don't think there's any problems there. And then rather than going straight up, which is going to get very boggy, we're going to do like a sort of zigzag up, which hopefully will help people get a little bit of traction as they go. And then sort of keep them round to the left, because there's I don't know if you can see the edge of the curb here, it's quite sharp. So we will go sort of to the left of that curb and the sort of hole in the ground there, and then bring them back onto the Hoggenberg. And that's basically it. So just straight up the tarmac and over the line again. I think that's all right.